Hello, welcome. Today I want to try a pretty different deck, one that I'm not really used to in Modern, and that is Burn. I've been playing a lot of Storm recently at the PBTQ level, and it's worked out okay. Over the last two PBTQs, I've gone, I think, 6-3-1, and my only 3 losses have been to Grixis Shadow. So that's a pretty bad matchup for Storm, is Grixis Shadow. So I was thinking about trying something else, something that would be pretty good against the Grixis Shadow Menace. And I figured, you know what? Let's give this a shot. I've heard from a lot of people that the Burn matchup can be tough for Grixis Shadow. I've also heard that it can be the other way around. So I'm very curious to see how this runs. Constructed leagues with Burn. That was actually me finishing up with Storm. I finished 3-2, but now let's do it with Burn. Nothing really interesting to say about this particular build. Essentially, it's red-white with green in the sideboard purely for Destructive Revelry. So we've got 20 lands. People play 19 or 20, so I'm happy with slightly more. You've only got red-white in the main deck, and the really satisfying thing about this deck is it's all 4-ofs, which is always nice. I guess the one thing to note is the Molten Rain, which I don't think is super popular in Burn right now. But the Melbourne meta, which is where I'm playing, is there's a lot of control and there's a lot of Tron. So I wanted a good card that had a crossover for that, and Molten Rain, I think, is my man. This is a pretty easy mulligan, 5 lands. Burn can operate off 1 land in a lot of situations, so we'll keep this. We'll try and scry land to the top if we can, because this hand obviously wants to hit a second mana source. Yeah, we don't need another clunky 2-mana burn spell. Ooh, is this the mirror? That'd be pretty interesting. I imagine Eidolon of the Great Revel is kind of frustrating in the mirror. I also imagine whoever's on the play is greatly advantaged. Alright, well, I'm going to start off by fetching Sacred Foundry, because we've got this Lightning Helix now, and that seems like a really good mirror breaker. Question is, do we run our Swift Spear into their Rift Bolt? I don't know. I'm going to get my guy on the table. Maybe I wanted to hold it for when I could do 2 spells. I could definitely see that being correct. It's very possible that my first game with Burn I've completely misplayed on the first turn. But they shocked face, so seems like we might have done something right. Best here is probably Inspiring Vantage, and then we just Searing Blaze. Oh, no, they're going to Searing Blaze us. Alright, well, I want to play out my hand before the Eidolon of the Great Revel. And I feel like if they're holding a Skullcrack, then Lightning Helixing on the main phase is going to be a lot better. So let's do that. It explains why they didn't Rift Bolt our creature. They had Searing Blaze for our creature. Ooh, another Lightning Helix. So we're going to pass. If our opponent taps out in our end step, we'll Lightning Helix them. If they Lightning Helix us in our end step, then we'll Skullcrack them. I like Burn. It's simple. Boros Charm? Yeah, I'll Lightning Helix you. I was thinking about how to sideboard in this matchup, and it seems like you want to bring in Core Firewalkers, definitely, and then the leveling game of like, do you bring in Path to Exiles for their Core Firewalkers? I think the answer is probably yes. let's do it. Riftbolt me, that's fine. If we draw land next turn, we can go Skullcrack, Bolt, Skullcrack, which is pretty nice. And I'm okay firing off this Skullcrack here because if our opponent has their own Lightning Helix, or at least now or in the future, then Skullcrack can get that done. So if we play Eidolon of the Great Revel here and they respond with like triple Bolt or some nonsense, then we're kind of locked out of the game. So I'm just going to pass again. Skullcrack us. Yeah, alright, that's fine, I guess. It's possible if our opponent's flooded out and they're holding onto it for potential Searing Blaze draws. So maybe just playing no creatures is good because that saves us from getting blazed. Alright, let's see if we're dead. Nope. Awesome. So now we're going to Bolt Face, and if they have a flurry of their own, which I seriously doubt because they would have done that on their end step, we can respond with Skullcrack. Alright, I think we got lucky there. But I'll take it. When it comes to sideboarding, yeah, I like... We're on the draw. I could even see losing a land. What if we lost him? No, because what if they bring in Path to Exile? This is tough. I could see losing a land and bringing in the Paths and the Core Firewalkers. So it feels like Core Firewalker is such a huge part of this matchup. It's about who's going to draw their Path to who's going to draw their Core Firewalkers, and if you don't, who's going to have the answer to the Path to Exile. I think Destruffle, one of Destructive Revelry could be cute for killing their Eidolon, but as soon as you bring in one Destructive Revelry, you have to start fetching for Stomping Ground, which makes things super awkward. The reason I'm considering cutting a land, by the way, is because we're already on the high end of things, which is 20, and we're on the draw. So any of these cards get significantly worse on the draw. I guess Skullcrack is only good specifically against Lightning Helix. No, I guess if they are Core Firewalkering. Blaze. Sea Cutting Boros Charm, because it's the most color intensive card without being Lightning Helix, which is amazing in the mirror, as was evidenced in that game. I can see this. Take out a land and Boros Charms for the Core Firewalker and anti-Core Firewalker package. That makes sense to me. Yeah, this hand seems great. Keep. So I can go like turn 1 Goblin Guide, turn 2 Core Firewalker if we draw a land at some point. Ooh, that's an even better chance that we draw land. That was Lightning Bolts, alright. So we're certainly the control, right? But if we just play Goblin Guide and keep it back, there's such a good chance that our opponent just like Searing Blazes it and then we get no value at all. So I wonder if the correct play here is play the Wooded Foothills, wait for Goblin Guide to attack. If it's a non-land, then we can shuffle and bolt the Goblin Guide. That sounds fine. Let's do that. Alright, let's see what Goblin Guard reveals. It's a Bloodstone Mire. Cool. So we still need to search for double Sacred Foundry so we can cast our Core Firewalker. Oh, hang on. I suppose if we were taking out a land on the draw, it's a lot better to take out the Stomping Ground because we didn't bring in any green cards. That makes sense. Yeah, that would have been better. I'll have to keep that in mind. Alright, Core Firewalker, and pray our opponent doesn't have a path to exile. Because if this works, I feel like it's just kind of game over. Our opponent's going to respond with a bolt to the face, I suppose. Yep. Okay. So is this upkeep path? No, it's great. Alright, sweet. Very sweet. Alright, I just want to... I want to play the Rift Bolt before the Lava Spike in general. But I want to guarantee we get triggers off the Core Firewalker. Because if we... I guess 8 is pretty much the same as 9. And also our opponent has double Boros Charm, which seems unlikely. Our opponent is also missing land drops, so Goblin Guide here is maybe annoying, but... yeah, Goblin Guide in the mirror seems a little strange. Alright, always yes, always yield. And this Core Firewalker is going to do a lot of work for us. Skullcrack. Okay, now we respond with Bolt to the face. We're not going to gain that 1 life. 5. Yeah, now we just suspend Rift Bolt. Or do we just guarantee the trigger? If we Lava Spike, then we'll go to 6. If they have Land, Bolt, Boros... So the worst case scenario is Land, Bolt, Boros Charm, which does a total of 7 damage. So we'd want to be on 8 life. So I think Lava Spiking here is better. Oh, of course. They had Skullcrack the result. Yeah, okay. That didn't matter. They're drawing Skullcrack. That was bad. They already had Skullcrack the result. It doesn't matter. Funny thing is, if our opponent leads on Skullcrack, we still gain the life. Alright. So I was right enough in that Core Firewalker is obviously amazing in the matchup. I wonder if my opponent brought in the Path to Exiles to combat them. So I feel like there's a pretty standard list these days of what you can expect from Burn. And Core Firewalker's in pretty much every build. Alright. I am going to go and get a drink of water. And Hubble, you're in charge while I'm away. I'll be back in a second. Ugh, perfect timing. Here we go. Alright. Got my penguin mug ready to go. I'm not sure what this bug is. It's some kind of graphical error where I need to load chat for it to go away. Alright, so we're playing against Phoenix, who was last seen 11 days ago playing Eldrazi, Ramp, and Tax... Oh, Eldrazi, Death, and Taxes. That makes more sense. Okay. Alright, I think, yeah, 5 land. Again, that's a pretty clear mulligan. Unfortunate, but... Whew. This is such a powerful hand. But... 1 land. See, this is the kind of borderline hand that I'm not very good with. If we scry and don't find land... Double Eidolon is so sweet. But it's so expensive. We only have 1 land. I'm going to keep it. My rationale being... and I'm not going to fetch and bolt, by the way, because this land is so important. I want to try definitely mull Tim Tuhurak. I agree. I can definitely see this being wrong. More than anything. Ooh, hello, Goblin Guard. Ooh, this is great, actually. Our opponent is going to attack, give us the Inspiring Vantage, and then we can fetch and bolt anyway. Yeah, basically I want to experience a range of hands because I'm just learning the deck. So I'm okay with making mistakes like that because I don't want it to be based just on intuition. I want to see what it's like to play this kind of hand. And I assume Searing Blaze here is just fantastic. So yeah. I know repeatable sources of damage are quite important in this, in burn in general, so taking them off there seems quite good. Shrine of Burning Rage. Wow, interesting. Alright. Alright, let's just Eidolon it up. We're on more life than our opponent. Our opponent has no creatures on the table. So, I guess Shrine is a way to kill Eidolon without triggering it. But opponent's forced to cast spells here. Searing Blaze? Yeah, I guess that's the best way to kill a creature in the mirror. So land here's still good. Let's see. The problem with Eidoloning on this turn as opposed to last turn is our opponent's now ahead on board, which means we've got the impetus to act. So I think playing Eidolon here is probably wrong. I think we just pass, Boros Charm face, and then hope to draw another 1 mana, like Bolt or Lava Spike. Even Goblin Guide if the way is clear. And the cool thing is with our opponent having double Swift Spear, they're going to be incentivized to play like Lightning Helix on their turn. Which means we could Skullcrack it. That's not going to be happening though. Alright, we got a Peel to win. I feel like that happens a lot in Burn as well. Is you just need that last top deck for everything to go right. But yeah, Lava Spike or Bolt would be the win here. Or if our opponent's shocked for some reason. Alright, punch you in the face for 4. Bolt. Ah, we deserve it. Don't we deserve it? I'd say so. That seems fair. And I can see why you would want to mull this hand. So we drew a total of 3 lands, which I feel like is probably perfect. And it doesn't, like, staying on 6 instead of mulling to 5 didn't make much of a difference. Because we ended up with 2 spells in our hand anyway. So going to 5, we would have ended up with 1 card left in our hand, you know. So yeah, staying on 6 for a sketchy hand doesn't seem worth it. I think I'm going to do the same plan as I did last time. So I'll bring in the Paths and the Core Firewalkers. And cut the Boros Charms and the Stomping Ground. I think I like this. We want to cut a 2-mana card because we're bringing in 2-mana cards. We're on the draw, so I like cutting a land. And I think I like Skullcrack, Eidolon, Searing Blaze, and Lightning Helix more than Boros Charm. So let's see how this runs. Eidolon's really interesting though. Rift Bolt slow on the draw? Yeah, I can see that. Tim Tuhurak, have you played a lot of Burn in your time? Because for me, it's brand new. I'm looking for a spicy new deck to play, and I'm thinking of trying Burn because I want to try a bit more proactive. But I'm certainly no expert. I've played against it a lot, and I know that helps. But playing with it is a different story. Sweet. How do you find it against Grixis Shadow? Because part of the reason I wanted to play it was because I wanted a deck with a better Grixis Shadow matchup. Storm is horrible. I get the feeling from what people have told me that Burn is like 50-50, and it's really pilot dependent. Like, if one person knows the matchup really well and the other person doesn't, then, yeah, it wasn't a deck at the time. That makes sense. No, you're part of the problem. I guess just leading on Swift Spear, and then maybe even Swift Spear's Path next turn or something like that. But I don't want to path our opponent's Goblin Guard on turn 1. And I'd rather get the Swift Spears down before playing our burn spells. And if we draw Searing Blaze, I'd rather have the fetch land in hand. Yeah, I've lost to Shadow a lot recently playing Storm, and so I decided I just wanted to play a deck with a little more game. Still slightly favored Shadow? Yeah. 10-10. Deflecting Palm's a hell of a card, but, you know, so is Thoughtseize and Stubborn Denial and all those things. So are we supposed to Lightning Helix Goblin Guard here? Is that better than Lightning Helix Face and taking more hits from the Goblin Guard? Yeah, Thoughtseize seems better. Yeah. Fetch, Shock, Street Wraiths, Thoughtseize against Burn on the play. That's pretty funny. Yeah. Eidolon's kind of awkward on the draw as well.
This is how I roll with my friends.
They like Burn in Melbourne because there's a lot of Tron. Yeah. And in fact, I've changed the sideboard around a little bit. It seems to me like the Destructive Revelries, the Rest in Peace, the Palms, the Paths, and the whatever it is, Core Firewalker all seem standard. And then there's 2 slots left over. And I like Molten Rain against Tron and also Control. What am I going to do here? I feel like I want to play a 2-mana spell this turn. It's not going to be Eidolon, it's not going to be Skullcrack. I think I'm just going to Lightning Helix the Goblin Guard. I feel like getting the Goblin Guard off the table is going to give more... Yeah, against a lot of those kind of 3-color decks on the play, it seems pretty great. There's another Goblin Guard on top. Not super interested in that. And if our opponent plays an instant speed Bolt, I think I'm going to Lightning Helix the Swift Spear instead. Yeah, we're not winning the race. We need to take out one of the creatures. To the point where now, because if our opponent's not playing an Eidolon or an Eidolon or another Swift Spear or a Core Firewalker of their own, I'm just going to path the Goblin Guard. Suspend double Rift Bolt. Yeah, this has been a little awkward. I mean, Searing Blaze is great in the matchup. Having more creatures is great in the matchup. Whoa! That's what I'm talking about. Big rips. Alright, if we can survive this next turn, then we're doing alright. If our opponent casts the first Wrist Bolt and Skullcracks us in response, then we're in trouble. Yeah. Skullcrack. Skullcrack is exactly what they needed there. Alright. I think I still like our sideboard plan. Because I think flooding out is a bad way to lose in this matchup. I think in some matchups you can make it work, but flooding out's never good, and I guess I could see this. Trimming a Path to Exile on the play, because you've got fewer cards to work with on the play. You want to make sure they're all action. So I could see cutting the third Path to Exile for a land there. This one I think is a mulligan. We don't have a Scry. We've got 5 2-drops. And even though we've got Core Firewalker and double Lightning Helix, which all seem absurd in this matchup, if we don't get a second land, then we're just dead in the water. On the other hand, if we do draw a second land, then this hand's pretty amazing. Because Core Firewalker, Helix are all amazing in this matchup. But I think the risk of just never drawing a land is too high. Oh, no! Oh, come on. Punished. Punished! Alright, we're gonna have to mulligan this as well, obviously. Alright, ship it. Looking for any spell. I mean, Core Firewalker, Lightning Helix. But at this point, yeah, take anything. Probably, I guess Swift Spear would be an awesome draw as well. I suppose Eidolon would be a pretty good draw here as well. If we've got fewer cards that burn ourselves out. Oh, we lost Hubble. I didn't see when he jumped off. Looks like our opponent has a bit of a sketchy one. They've mulliganed to 6, and now they're deciding whether or not they want to mulligan to 5. This is interesting. I was expecting to play against a... or actually hoping to play against a bunch of Grixis Shadow. Because that's kind of the matchup that I wanted a new deck for and I want practice against. But I played 2 Burn Mirrors in a row, which is... I always find when you're learning a new deck and you've played against it a bunch, you can kind of see how other matchups work. So say I'm a Merfolk player, which I'm not, but if I'm Merfolk and I play against Burn, I can play it from the other side because I've seen Burn operate. I can assume the other role in that matchup and kind of have a good feel for how it works. But if I were that Merfolk player and I pick up Burn and then play the Burn Mirror, well, then you've got no experience to base it off. So that's kind of where I find myself now. Phoenix still deciding whether or not to mulligan to 5. And they have. We're going to keep our 5. And we'll see if our opponent keeps their 5. It's not a snap decision either way. Oof. This could just be a mulligan fest on both sides. Okay, we are going to scry that one to the bottom. And we'll keep our fetch land in hand, because if we draw Searing Blaze, then we obviously want the fetch land in hand, and we don't want to shuffle that land we've just scried to the bottom back into our deck. Well, there's always the Goblin Guide argument. If we know you're playing against Goblin Guide, maybe just always scry land to the top. I guess we don't need all this. That's good to see Rift Bolts, though, if our opponent suspends Rift Bolt. Nope. Oh, yes! Yes! That's what I like to see. Yeah, there will be Rift Bolts in play. So opponent's best thing they could do is... I don't know, land, path, bolt us. Getting the basic means no firewalk from opponent. Yeah, that's certainly a way that they could... I mean, it's a way that we won, or we are getting ahead in this game. be pretty awful if our opponent got ahead in the same way. Alright. Let's see if we get pathed. Alright, if they're casting a red spell, they definitely don't have path in hand. Come on, attack me. Of course. No. I have Blessed Alliance of the Bowman. Interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. Now, I have heard of the legendary Skullcrack. So you don't block the Swift Spear because if they have Skullcrack, then it'll eat the Core Firewalker. Yep. I've witnessed many a judge call about this particular scenario. Which kind of sucks because if our opponent, yeah, of course we'll use Core Firewalker's ability. Because that exists, that Skullcrack fear, you can basically never block Swift Spear in that spot. Killed a bunch of true names? Yeah, that sounds even sweeter. True name equally unkillable as Core Firewalker is in the Burn Mirror. I mean, if they had Path, they would have pathed it already. Clearly they don't. Suspend Rift Bolt, okay. Well, our opponent also fetched and didn't find a white card, so either they have like an Inspiring Vantage in their hand, or they have no white cards in hand. Maybe they just want to try and keep their life total high. Either way, I'm not expecting a life gain effect from our opponent, so I'm just going to Skullcrack on our main phase. Guarantee that we get the Core Firewalker trigger. I'm happy just to Bolt Face as well. I think just guaranteeing we get all the Core Firewalker triggers is probably the best thing we can do. Yep, there's the Skullcrack. Hello.
Hello.
So now our opponent has to... Oh, I was going to say, if they didn't have a land... Oh. Hubble was sitting up here a second ago.
Yeah, you heard me come home. Hello, Twitch.
You have a 2-turn Clop, assuming you draw any spell. Well, that's the hope. Well, our opponent just put themselves dead on board, so I'm not sure why they attacked there. Alright, cool. 2-0 in the Burn Mirror. See ya, Hubble. Yeah, I've had a look at a lot of burn lists recently, and it seems to me that this is basically the best list. You know, people have been playing Burn in Modern for long enough to know, and like grind it into a fine weapon. And it also seems like this is pretty much stock as well. Like everyone plays Path, Core Firewalker, Destructive Revelry, unless you don't want the Stomping Ground, in which place you play. The Shadow... Which one? Smash the Smithereens. And Deflecting Palm. Historically, I've been hot and cold on, but I feel like it just... I'm into it. I think it does something pretty strong enough. Wear Tear, yeah, that's a good one as well. I guess if you're not playing green, Wear Tear is a pretty good option. If you need to kill enchantments. Like, I just think Revelry is so important. In the matchups where you're expecting, like, Leyline of Sanctity, this is amazing. Against Ad Nauseam, where you can kill, Wear Tears if you're not splashing green, yeah. Yeah, like, Revelry is just amazing. The number one matchup I think of is Ad Nauseam, because they have Leylines of Sanctity, they have the stupid Phyrexian Unlife, and if they don't have either of them, you can, like, turn 4, boom, hit your Lotus Bloom that just came off Suspend in your upkeep. So yeah, I think having Destructive Revelry is worth the Stomping Ground slot in the sideboard. And then there's kind of 2 flex spots, and yeah, like I said, I like this for the Tron and control. Deflecting Palm Storm. I did have a game the other day where I Deflecting Palmed I was on 3. and my opponent scape shift into Valakut, and it was the very last one. Once they resolve the combo you lose, they pay Pact. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I feel like if they draw their whole deck, then they will have drawn a Pact of Negation. Don't ruin the dream of deflecting Palm like a 40 damage Lightning Storm. That sounds amazing. Once they've drawn a deck, it's over. Yeah. This is a weird bug. I have to do this. Get this out of here. Alright. We're on the draw. This hand seems great. Our opponent was last seen playing Gift Storm. Wow. Are we seriously playing the third Burn Mirror in a row? That's incredible. Land. Lava Spike. Alright. It's bizarre. I guess Mono Red is super in vogue right now. Just leading on Goblin Guide's correct, right? That's just the best turn 1 play you can have? Rather than Swift Spear, no spell, or Suspend Rift Bolt. And we've got plenty of action in our hand that doesn't involve white mana, and I'd rather save myself the 2 damage when we're playing in the mirror. So, Mountain Goblin Guide. Let's do it. Opponent reveals another Goblin Guide. Alright. Okay, so that was that one. Cool. We draw our white mana. So, let's go Swift Spear, Suspend, Rift Bolt. It does look like he's on 1 land. I don't think that's enough reason to not attack with Goblin Guide, but it's certainly in our favor. What do they reveal this time? Another Goblin Guide? Sacred Foundry. Damn it. Because the thing is, if the top card's a land, they're going to draw it anyway. And if they're stuck on land, they have plenty of action regardless. So, yeah. Not attacking with Goblin Guide seems crazy to me. What are you after? Yeah, here you go. Eidolon? Eidolon seems great if you're ahead on board. Yep. We have a Rift Bolt coming off Suspend. I think we just have to point it at the Eidolon. Let's see, we're going to get hit down to 9. Another Inspiring Vantage would be nice. Ooh, there it is. Let's see. Can we win? Monastery Swift Spear. Let's see. If we Rift Bolt the Eidolon, and then we play Swift Spear, Lava Spike, because our top card is Swift Spear. So we Rift Bolt the Eidolon, we go down to 7, and we're almost certainly dead to our opponent next turn. But that gets the Eidolon out of the way, and then we've got 4 power on board. We play Swift Spear, Lava Spike. Yeah, that definitely sounds like lethal. Go upstairs? Isn't hitting the Eidolon better? We're going to have 2 giant Swift Spears. And if we don't take the Eidolon now, we just get murdered by our own spells. We Rift Bolt the Eidolon, Swift Spear triggers, it goes up to 4. We play another Swift Spear, that's 5 power on the board. Then we Lava Spike, that's 8 plus 2 triggers is 10, and then we Lava Spike again. Yeah. That's alright. Yeah, I think if we go upstairs, we do a lot of damage, but we also murder ourselves when we play 3 more spells. But yeah, Swift Spear was an excellent draw there. Could we have won without the Swift Spear? Like, if it was just any other bolt, I think that would have been fun as well. In fact, maybe we didn't have to draw anything. Right? If we just went, like, Spike, Boris Charm, that would be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, we actually had lethal without having to draw anything, which is nice as well. Alright, turn 3 win. I'm coming around. It's pretty nice. Alright, Swiss Beer, spike you, spike you. Yeah, turn 3 win. I'm impressed. Bang. And it was a lot of overkill too. We killed by 2. Alright, sweet. Once again, we find ourselves on the draw in the Burn Mirror. I still like our plan. I want the core Firewalkers and the paths to deal with their core Firewalkers. And we're going to cut a Stomping Ground because we want to cut a land and we don't have any green spells in our deck. Oh, and we need to cut... I'm like, why doesn't this work? And then, yeah, we cut the Boros Drums. Because it's clunky. And, yeah, I like the other 2-mana spells better. Although maybe Eidolon. Maybe Eidolon's the better cut when you're on the draw. Eidolon never feels like a good play when you're on the draw. Huh. That would have been on 1 if you didn't... Yeah. Alright, that would have sucked. Swiss Spear was obviously a good draw there. Yeah, I guess a one mana damage spell would have been better. This hand is the stone nuts. Oh my god. Cut summon. Yeah, I was just thinking that right at the last second, that every time I've played Eidolon on the draw, it's been pretty bad. Oh my god. This is just an embarrassment of Inspiring Vantages, which seem amazing in the mirror. And Core Firewalker, Lightning Helix is great. I'm going to suspend the Rift Bolt now. If our opponent plays Eidolon, we can just kill it on our upkeep and then play the Core Firewalker. That seems good. Yeah, we've certainly been pretty... Bolt the Guide? Surely... Yeah, no, I guess saving the 2 damage is better. I guess we're not in a race by suspending the Rift Bolt. Just saving yourself the 2 damage is better right away. Looks like our opponent's representing Searing Blaze. Yeah, I guess if we're Rift Bolting the Guide anyway. Yeah, bolting Guide would have been a lot better, you're right. What was that top card? Lava Spike. Yeah, Bolt. Yeah, good call. Bolt would have been better. Alright, let's see if this works. Looks like our opponent's responding with a red spell. That's true. I mean, there is upside. It's probably not enough upside. They also know we have Lava Spike, for what it's worth. I wouldn't pay 2 life for that information. Oh, wow. Core Firewalker too good. Lightning Helix too good as well. Burn Mirror number 4, I can feel it. Yeah, if I'd thought ahead another turn, like what was going to happen next turn, which was slam Core Firewalker and not block Goblin Guide because fear of Skullcrack, then that Goblin Guide's getting it for 4 damage. Bolting it, is better. Like, rather than doing 3 damage to our opponent, killing the Goblin Guide, which is representing at least 4 damage, is good. And if you come to the conclusion that killing the Goblin Guide's the best way to do it, just bolt it right away. So, good to know. Like I said, this is why I want to learn this deck, because I'm gonna be playing it hopefully at the PBTQs, and these are the kind of screwball mistakes that I don't want to make when the games actually matter. The real question for me is, can I find matching cards for this stupid deck? So I borrowed this off a friend, Tom Clifts, and he does not care about 4 matching cards, which is just pisses me off so much. Let's see. Here we go. What do you call this? To me, this is just offensive. 2 of each Rift Bolts? Like, what are you doing? I have offered in the past to just buy 2 more of his preferred Rift Bolt art, and he has declined. I've straight up said, look, just take my Rift Bolts, and he's like, no, I like these. Ugh, God. See, Falafel Waffle, it would tilt me. I'm not immune to my own tiltage. Alright, let's do this stupid thing. Raging Tilt monster. This hand seems slightly clunky, but if we were going to have a handful of 2-mana spells, I think Swift Spear would be the best last card to have, so... Mismatching Tron lands. Yeah, mismatching Tron lands sounds even worse. Because then that actually... Ooh. Alright. If we were going to have a non... I think I'm going to get Mountain, because if we draw Inspiring Vantage, we'll have a source of white that we didn't have to pay a bunch of life for anyway. And I'm not going to attack. There's no point. No, mirror number 4? That's unfortunate. I've heard the Affinity matchup is kind of sweet, actually. Don't you just Destructive Revelry and Searing Blaze all this stuff, and you're basically a control deck? I guess Ravager makes it tough. I was hoping for a land or a 1-mana spell. Edge Champion sounds good. Yeah, and I guess like stacking a bunch of counters on a Vault Scourge is pretty nice as well. This hand is not great. We've seen better for sure. And we can't really point a lot of burn at our opponent's creatures right now because of the Ravager. So we just kind of have to attack with Swift Spear and hope they don't do anything. They definitely can't kill us with Inkmoth next turn. They're nowhere close to that. So I think what we can do is just attack, and if there's no blocks, we just either Boris Charm or Helix Face. Which would be better. I mean, Lightning Helix keeps us from dying. But Boris Charm gets them dead more quickly. Which 2-mana spell should we cast? I guess Lightning Helix is just on its face a better life swing. And right now it's really hard to tell exactly what kind of clock they have. He'll Ravager on Inky if we tap out. I don't care about Ravager on Inky. He's got Hold Up Helix. But what do we care about Inkmoth Nexus? We're nowhere close to dying from it. And we can just bolt it next turn. Oh, I guess then we can't kill the Inkmoth Nexus. I see. No. Yeah, alright. That's true. I forgot that Inkmoth, yeah, is a 5/5. I'm actually going to bluff Bolt. I don't think he's going to go for it if we're holding up Sacred Foundry anyway. And we're not winning this game without drawing extra lands. No, I mean, if he goes for it, they die. I don't think he will. There's the Vault Scourge. Alright. Vault Scourge is a problem as well. Searing Blaze. Yeah, we've drawn 2 lands and all 2-mana spells. Which is already a problem with our hand. Yeah, there's no way we're going to deploy all of our action. It wasn't a great bluff. I shouldn't have shocked. You know, I think we're just dead now anyway. Like, if our opponent doesn't even need to activate any abilities. They just attack with everything. And we can't Lightning Helix any creatures because they'll just get eaten by Ravager. So if we Lightning Helix face, we go to 11, and we're still super dead. So, yep, alright. Now, what's bad? Eidolon seems great. Helix seems fine. Skullcrack seems good against a giant Volt Scourge. I like the Searing Blaze and the Destructive Revelry. They seem great. How good is Deflecting Palm in this matchup? That seems like one that could be okay. Path, I'm not excited about, because we've got a lot of other ways to kill their creatures. Now, the Searing Blaze and the Revelry all seem like they deal with what Path would deal with, except like a giant, whatever the blue one is. The, I can't even remember what it's called. The blue one, the star that gives all the artifacts +1/+1. I'm fine with one palm, but it's situational. Yeah, I'd rather not bring it in then. I just want cards that are going to do what I want them to do. So I like all these. Skullcracks seem good. You shave Eidolon on the play and cut them on the draw. Yeah, I guess it's bad if they just dump all their hand on turn 1. So what would you bring in instead? Would you just leave in some Boros Charms? So something like this instead? They spit out their hand on turn 1, yeah, okay. They can't spit out their whole hand on turn 1. But I see what you mean. It's definitely worse. If you don't have it on turn 2, it's basically dead. Alright, let's try this. Yeah, I don't like Palm, especially on the play. I just want to be proactive. Yeah, we'll play first. Ugh. This hand seems like it's keepable, but at the bad end of keepable. That's kind of what this hand seems like to me. Like, I think it's good enough to keep, but it can go badly wrong. I don't think you can mulligan and expect to get a better hand than this. So I'm gonna keep it. I'm not happy about keeping it, but I think it's like on the spectrum of hands, it's just on the keepable side. So let's get in there. I also like that it's got double Inspiring Vantage. Yeah, it's a good point. 2 lands plus those 4 spells on 6, for sure. Yeah, and here we see they just played, you know, a million lands on... a million spells on turn 1. They've only got 2 things that would trigger from Eidolon. I guess here we go, Inspiring Vantage... Inspiring Vantage attack if they block with Ornithopter Boros Charm? No. Inspiring Vantage attack if they block with Ornithopter Volt Scourge, then the Ornithopter dies and you Lava Spike face. But chances are they won't block. In which case... is playing Inspiring Vantage the best land? Maybe we want to Bloodstained Mire and fetch to thin. Or to hold up another removal spell. Yeah, if we're not culling the Scourge, I agree. I want to hold up Bolt. But what I'm saying is if I attack and they block with Ornithopter, Bluffing Blaze can be good. Yeah, I like bluffs a lot more when our hands are empty. If they block with Ornithopter, yeah, we just Bolt Scourge and it's a pretty sweet 2-for-1. Yeah, I kind of wanted to see if he would block the Ornithopter. I guess that play would make more sense if we didn't think for so long. Excuse me. But yeah, if they literally go Ravager, load up on the Volt Scourge, and attack while we're tapped out, that's kind of bad for us. I have no idea if he has Ravager or not. They scryed to the top, which is a reason to. I guess here we just bolt the Volt Scourge anyway, because we know we're going to do it. Which I guess means we should have done it last turn. Yeah, I guess we should have done it last turn regardless. There's plating. Alright. Alright, cool. So, do we just go ham now? Goblin Guide, Boros Charm Face, swing at everybody? Because there's nothing on board that they can punish us with, right? There's no like Inkmoth or Volt Scourge or anything like that. So I think here we just pile drive. Bang. Darksteel Citadel. How does even Affinity they get the land? Yeah, we can't block or play removal, yeah, so we just get in there. Makes sense. Okay, so they played the Darksteel Citadel, play Springleaf Drum, they got 2 cards in hand. Master of Ethereum, that was the card I was trying to think of. Well, we can't attack into that. Because they can go Ornithopter, block Swift Spear, or Goblin Guard and just eat the other one, so... Now we're in that classic burn position of needing to top deck. And I guess we keep the Stomping Ground in hand, so if we draw Searing Blaze, that's an out as well. And I guess they wouldn't have had Thoughtseize. Is there any reason not to play the Lava Spike right now? Rift Bolt will do 3. This Lava Spike will do 3. Is there any reason not to play the Lava Spike? I guess they could have, like, Spell Pierce. I guess I'll play it now. Like, now they know that we're 2 points away from lethal. But I don't think it changes their plays anyway. They're going to race us as hard as they can. Alright, so that's their entire hand. Stubborn Annihilate? Yeah, that's another reason. Yeah, basically Counterspell is the reason. So now they can suit up the Ornithopter or the Signal Pest, doesn't really matter. Yeah, this would be a sweet spot where Deflecting Palm would be good. Destructive Revelry would be a pretty sweet way to get in the last 2 points of damage. Whoa, getting in there with the Master of Ethereum? Isn't that crazy risky? No, I guess it's a forced chump. Yeah. Yeah, okay, that's fine, because we're forced to chump. Alright. Classic classic burn turn 5. Gotta peel lethal. I really hope we go to game 3. I want to play more of this matchup. Ugh, too easy. Ugh, never didn't have it. Ugh. If they had a card in hand, I would have shocked with Stomping Ground to play around Spell Pierce, but they had 0 cards in hand, so... Sweet. Alright, so on the draw... Yeah, I agree. Let's just... Never didn't have it. Let's take out all the Eidolons. I like that. Deflecting Palm seems pretty spicy. Like, it feels like all the scariest things they can do is load up on a single giant guy. And if it's a single giant guy, and it's only one turn that we care about, I like Deflecting Palm better than Path to Exile. So, I'm going to try this. Yeah, all the scariest things they can do is like load up on, say, Inkmoth with a Ravager, or a Volt Scourge with equipment. Alright, this hand looks sweet. Palmer's better on the draw. Yeah, that seems great. Alright, drawing the 4th land there was not good. I guess we want to keep all our fetch lands for Searing Blaze. So playing Inspiring Vantage is better. So let's Swift Spirit up. Yeah, if their best player is slamming Plating, and you just palm one turn of a giant monster. Okay, so they obviously drew the Ornithopter. Okay. So they've played a bunch of nonsense. Let's see what their payoff is. If it's plating, then I think we've got a good chance. Steel Overseer, whoops. Volt Scourge. Unfortunately, we don't have a way to kill the Volt Scourge. But we did just draw Skullcrack, which is nice. Alright, I don't want to show that we have the Stomping Ground, but if we fetch from Mountain, it's going to be super obvious that we have it anyway. So I guess Stomping Ground is still fine. And I just want to get I definitely want to get the second Swift Spear on the table. And if we've got both Swift Spears on the table, then Lava Spiking them is fine. And then I think how this game will probably go, from what it seems like, is we play second Swift Spear, spike them, then on turn 3 we Skullcrack them for a giant Volt Scourge, and then on the next turn we Deflecting Palm and do tons of damage that way. But if their last card is Cranial Plating, then we could be in a bit of hurt as well. But again, Deflecting Palm kind of gets us out of that, so let's see how this comes together. Oh, Galv Blast? Alright. Okay. Palm and Crack stop the bigger life gain? Yeah. And I like Deflecting Palm second because, I mean, Skullcrack doesn't scale. It just always stops the life gain and does 3. Whereas Palm, you know, if they've got an extra turn of ticking up Steel Overseer, then the Deflecting Palm does more. Of course, it feels like we're never going to connect with this Swift Spear. Ugh. Yeah, well. We're definitely attacking. So I think our opponent won't block. Ah, they're blocked. You got me. Alright. Drawing 5 lands, that might be the death knell. Second Overseer. Alright, our opponent... I think our opponent's hand is just objectively way better than ours. I don't know if there was much we could do about this one. If we draw running Skullcracks, we might have a chance. I guess Destructive Revelry would be a pretty nice draw. We could kill the Overseer, get him for damage, and then palm the Scourge. I'm going to fetch now because we've got plenty of fetch lands to trigger more stuff later. What if our opponent is supposed to chump here? Either with... you know what they can do? They can block with Inkmoth Nexus. Yeah. They can use Steel Overseer and the Springleaf Drum to activate the Inkmoth Nexus and block Swift Spear, which means when the Prowess triggers go away on their turn, it shrinks down to a -1/0 and it'll just die. So unless our opponent... I guess our out is they draw Cranial Plating, decide to put it on Volt Scourge, and then we palm them. But if they're thinking about what we could possibly have, that's never going to happen. Yeah, I feel like all Dorks, including Ornithopters, which block our guys, plus double Steel Overseer hand is it's pretty tough to beat, no matter who you are. Yeah, I wonder if our opponent's just meant to chump here. No, what I said a second ago. I just... I totally forgot I followed that logic through. They should have blocked with Inkmoth Nexus. It's too late now, so they will chump. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, so if they activate Steel Overseer and get in there, then we Deflecting Palm the Volt Scourge, and take 4. He attacked with a Steel Overseer. I think if he attacks with a Steel Overseer, then he's fine. I still don't think there's a way we win. We can palm. But that's going to do... Yeah, so he didn't activate the Steel... I waited until blocks to see if he would Steel Overseer or not. He didn't, which means, I mean, we can't wait because he's attacking with lethal. So, I mean, good play from our opponent to not activate the Steel Overseer. Choose a source, Vault Scourge. Yeah, he punted, but he didn't double punt, which is better than not, I guess. Yeah, we don't have a draw that does 5 damage through potentially 3 blockers, so I think we're drawing dead. Alright. We're still guaranteed in the money, so it's just a matter of how much better we can do. Ugh. Yeah. Speaking of lightning helixes, I wonder if I have them around here somewhere. One, two. So if the mismatch rift bolts weren't enough, then let's see. When he gave me the deck, 4 different lightning helixes. We've got original Ravnica in English. We've got Modern Masters with the Ajani art. We've got original Ravnica in a foreign language. Whoops, that's getting wrecked by the green screen there. Looks like Italian. And then one from the dual deck Speed versus Cunning. So, 4 different lightning helixes. Thanks, Tom. The worst part is I only have 3 lightning helixes of my own. So instead of being all totally mismatched, it's just slightly mismatched. But we can't have it all. Alright, so we are playing against Pat Z, who was last seen about a month ago playing Titan Shift. So I'm going to keep this hand because it looks great. But against Titan Shift, I guess the Searing Blaze isn't super great. Ooh. I assume we don't like seeing Hallowed Fountain on the other side of the table. Because it either means a control deck, which could be tough, or it means Ad Nauseam. Does Ad Nauseam play Hallowed Fountain? Yeah, I'm sure. Alright, get in there. Geist of St. Trapped. Oh, interesting. So it's some kind of Geist deck. I think I'm going to attack and play Eidolon. Yes, grind fast lanes. That makes more sense. A Geist of St. Trapped deck is pretty rough, though. Like, if our Goblin Guard just gets Lightning Helixed, that's not good for us. So they draw Plains. Okay, they have Bolt, which still means they could have Spell Snare for the Eidolon. And I will get a Sacred Foundry this time. I got Mountain the first time because if we draw Inspiring Vantage, I will have wished we just went with the more painless option. Alright. Well, we might have a Searing Blaze target in the Angel. I assume they're just going to slam Geist and then try and be disruptive. Alright, I'm going to play Swift Spear, land, and attack. I don't think our opponent will block, but we have Helix Face if they do. It would be outrageous for them to. Now I'm going to suspend Rift Bolt and pass, with the idea of Searing Blazing the Angel token, just so we have a target. Alrighty. I don't want to get Sacred Foundry, because their opponent's definitely going to try and burn us out. Alright. Hopefully this will be a big damage turn. Bolt you. What could our opponent have here? Boros Charm. I think we got to play the Lightning Helix this turn. Our opponent can't attack with Colonnade, but if they attack with Geist, that's 6. I think it's pretty reasonable for them to have, like, Snap Bolt. So if they have Snap Bolt and nothing else in terms of dealing damage, then they're looking at dealing 6 plus the Snapcaster and the Bolt. So 11. So Lightning Helix this turn is actually looking pretty good. And if they have Snapcaster, we can Searing Blaze for 1. That doesn't sound atrocious. Also, if we Lightning Helix before combat damage on our turn, our opponent can't Snap Bolt us, which is pretty nice as well. Unless they have Snap Bolt for the Swift Spear. Ooh, okay. They have Snap Path. Okay. Oh, no. I shouldn't have let them go to blocks. It's not going to matter either way. Because they were gonna path my Monastery Swift Spear for damage anyway. But I shouldn't have let them go to blocks. Like I said, it won't actually make a difference, but it was still a mistake. They're going to path an Air and Step. I'm just going to Helix them in response. Actually, if we top deck Boros Charm, and we played the Boros Charm, that would be exactly lethal. So what's more likely? Us playing... I guess what's more likely? Us drawing a Boros Charm, or them having a way to bolt us? I guess them having a way to bolt us is more likely. And if we draw a 1-mana burn spell, then we can Boros Charm anyway. So I'm going to Lightning Helix. Use Path's ability? Nah, I'm good. Yeah, so Bolt is good, any creature is good. Of course, they're going to have some kind of interaction, so I don't think we're going to win this game. Yeah, Geist of Sanctraft's a pretty big clock. Technically we have outs, but like I said, if our opponent has any piece of interaction, then we're kind of screwed. We can play around Spell Pierce if we draw creature. We play our spell first and then creature. But aside from that, we're just going to jam if we get something. Actually, if they have Spell Pierce and we play Boros Charm first, they just Spell Pierce that, and then we can't follow it up with the second spell anyway, so... Yeah, we can't even beat Spell Pierce. Oh, Helix. We definitely can't beat Lightning Helix. Oh! Ah, that sucks. And there's no way to kill the Angel. Damn it, Lightning Helix. 1 point short. I guess technically they could fetch. And then that would that would put them lethal, but I think they're just going to attack. Yep, alright. Cool. So we're on the play. Let's try out the Molten Rain. It keeps them off Geist of St. Traft. They're playing a Colonnade deck. And Core Firewalker actually seems kind of interesting as well, except they have Path to Exile to deal with it. So, what do we want here? All the 1-mana spells seem great. Lightning Helix actually seems good because part of their plan is bolting us out. I guess Boros Charm is always most awkward. Skullcrack's great. Eidolon's great. Searing Blaze is great. They're playing Snapcasters and stuff. Riftbolt seems fine. Yeah, I guess we bring in 2 Molten Rains and we cut 2 Boros Charms. And we don't want Path or Palm or Revelry. Yeah, alright. Deflecting Palm's kind of interesting against Angel tokens. Maybe that's something we can have on the draw. Deflecting Palm. Although it just... like, against an attack from a Resto Angel or a Colonnade or an Angel, it's like a Lightning Helix. It get better. Shave on Blaze. Instead of the Boros Charm. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So play all the Boros Charms. Just more damage is better. Yeah, that makes sense. Would you like to play? Yeah, of course we want to play first. I want to mulligan this hand, but I want to play first. Alright, this hand's much better. We obviously want to draw a second land, but we can operate off 1 land. Which is exactly where I want to be with this deck. And I'm gonna keep the land. Alright, Goblin Guide. Carry us to victory, as you have against me so many times before. Lightning Bolt. Are you gonna shock? You are. So the age-old question, do we even attack with Goblin Guide if we know it's gonna get bolted? We don't, right? Like, they're gonna use up their mana this turn to bolt anyway. I guess the reason they wouldn't is if they have Spell Pierce. So let's lead on Lava Spike. If they don't bolt, or if they don't Spell Pierce or anything, then yeah, we just don't attack. I can't imagine a universe where they don't bolt the Goblin Guide anyway, so let's just not give them the trigger. Yep. Yeah, the only reason they wouldn't bolt there is if they were holding up Spell Pierce, which is why I led on this Lava Spike first, because if they Spell Pierce that, then we get to attack. Alright. So the way's clear. Another Goblin Guide. Did they scry to the top? They went top-bottom with Serum Visions. So there's a chance they put a land on top because they could have suspected us playing Goblin Guide. There's also a chance they like kept a Kitchen Finks on top, and they've already got the land to cast it. That was a Geist of St. Traft. Alright. I think if they just slam Geist, that's probably fine for us. If they Lightning Helix our guy, things will be rough for us. Yuck. Alright, I'm just gonna keep playing guys. If they keep having Lightning Helixes, then we're gonna be in trouble. But, that seems like a lot of matchups against Burn. Lightning Helix happens to be pretty good. Oh, no! Oh, God. Yeah, I think the second Lightning Helix The worst part is we've got double Skullcrack in our hand, but we were on 2 lands the whole time. Yuck. Yeah. I've played blue, white, red control a lot. Back when I think it was actually good, you know, 2 or 3 years ago. These days I'm less than impressed, but I still remember how good Lightning Helix is. I'm going to play the Inspiring Vantage, even if I don't have Searing Blaze right now. So we actually trimmed on them anyway. And we'll see if we can possibly win this game. We stand to take 8, which we can afford to do twice. So I'm going to take this one, and then Skullcrack in the end step. And then we untap and Skullcrack on the Swift Spear with attacks. And if it's a bolt, nope. So if we wait on the Skullcrack, and we only hit for 1, and this goes for 3, we only have 1 out, which is Boros Charm. So I like Skullcracking now, and then all of our 3 mana cards are outs. But honestly, I think they can just safely attack with Colonnade. And that'll probably give them the last bit of damage. Yeah, double Helix is rough. And Geist of St. Traft providing a giant clock is pretty rough as well. If our opponent has a removal spell or a counter spell, or basically anything, then we're dead. Whoa! you have to Skullcrack unless you drew a Rift Bolt. Fair enough. Well, our opponent came prepared. Yeah, I think part of what I have to learn with this deck is thinking about what you could possibly draw and what draws like give you the outs to win. So yeah, Skullcracking there, so in case you draw a 3 damage spell. Fair enough. Alright, we at least get a treasure chest, so we can see what was in that. A Sanguine Praetor. 8 mana for a 7/5. Black, sack a creature, destroy each creature with the same converted mana cost as that creature. Card seems atrocious. Alright, let's hop back in. I don't think there are any changes I want to make. Good thing about playing Burn is you can get a lot of reps in. It's not like playing, I don't know, red-white Prison or blue-white Control or some other deck where the matchups take so long. You actually get a whole bunch of matchups, ideally, unless you pay the Burn Mirror 3 times in a row. Alright, we'll be back in a second. Just need to fill up my penguin cup with more water. Ugh. Alright, so we went 3-2 in that league. We're clearly masters of the mirror, or at least masters of, you know, drawing extremely well in the mirror. I know which one I'd rather have, by the way. Actually, one of my friends has just started streaming Standard. But apparently that's not his screen name. Oh, Patsy, we just played this guy. What was Patsy on? Which one was Patsy? We just played them. They're on the blue, white, red deck. All right. It doesn't matter because we're gonna fetch for Goblin Guard on turn 1. Let's get Sacred Foundry. And smash. Oh, Sneak and Show. Alright. Cool. Alright, so they shocked with Hallowed Fountain and passed after revealing Path to Exile. So it's exactly the same situation as before. Although now we want our Eidolon to resolve. Alright, this time I'm going to attack because I want our opponent to be incentivized to path before damage. There we go. So they have Bolt in hand. But I think playing Eidolon here is still fine. Because it's going to get in for a guaranteed 2 points of damage. We don't even know that they have red mana in their hand. I mean, they probably do. Yeah, there it is. I attack here to see if he paths. Yeah, I like... In that situation when we have another follow-up threat, I definitely like attacking first, for sure. Now we want to hang on to another land. Like, if we draw land here, I think we just hold it. Or another Searing Blaze. The question is, do we fire off Lightning Helix or hang on to it? I think we want to choke their mana on an important turn. So I'm trying to think of what the best way we can do that is. Like, can we guarantee the Lightning Helix resolves? That'd be pretty good for us. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Didn't I pay word? Here we go. Oops. There he is. So he slammed Geist of St. Trapped. Alright. So our best draw here is a fetch land. I'm going to hold it. But fetch land would have let us double Searing Blaze the Angel token. But say our opponent went like main phase Snapcaster Serum Visions, then we could like land Searing Blaze it. Man, these Searing Blazes have been super awkward against this Geist of St. Traff deck. Fetch land. I'll take it. On 7 life, our opponent's definitely not going to fetch. Whoa, no attacks. I wonder if they... That has to be a misclick, right? You don't play around Searing Blaze there. You know what? I'm not going to play the Rift Bolt. I'm going to play the Inspiring Bandage, though. I think our plan is... Our opponent misclicked through their turn. Ugh. Opponent isn't a scrub. I'd rather they were a scrub. Wouldn't being a scrub better? Oy. Surely they have to attack with the Geist, though, right? No! Oh! Just give me the Searing Blaze! Just do it! Oh, God. This feels like a terrible matchup, and our opponent is playing it exceptionally well. Ugh. I don't normally do this, but I'm going to reveal my hand. Just to say, like, yeah, you play that one really well. Wow. Yeah, that was good. Alright. Screw you, Searing Blaze. Get the hell out of here. Molten Rain, Deflecting Palm. Let's do it. Rest in Peace seems okay about Snapcaster, but basically nothing else. So, I think I like this straight swap. The Searing Blaze is out for the Molten Rain and the Deflecting Palm. Alright, let's do it. Again, this doesn't seem like a great hand, but I'll keep it. Interesting that, if our opponent's hand is full of removal, then this hand is actually pretty good, because it blanks all their removal. But if their removal is Lightning Helix, then we're kind of screwed anyway. Alright, so I fight off the Lava Spike on turn 1 because it gave us the least amount of play, like in terms of playing around our opponent's stuff and blanking counterspells and such. But now I'm just going to wait and try and find spots to sneak it through, like right now. So now, hopefully we can blank their removal and their spell snares. We'll see how successful that is, but still. Alright, now what I want to do is pick a fight on our opponent's end step and then slam Eidolon. That seems like the way to do this. But we can still do that, like, if they have Mana Leak in hand, then they might want to Mana Leak the Lava Spike. If they don't, we just play land, pass, and like, bolt, and try and get the Eidolon on the table. Yeah, it is Mana Leak, which means we're going to play the Eidolon now. Leading with Spike. Yeah, I like leading with Spike as well. If they let it resolve, great, and maybe they waste their mana for this turn. But if it doesn't, like if it gets countered, then getting the Eidolon on the table is pretty great. They're going to Helix it. Like, we all know it's getting Helixed. Oh, okay. Boros Charm would be amazing. Alright, I'm going to go for it. There's a very good chance our opponent has Path to Exile, but part of the reason holding onto these bolts is so good is because you get to play around Counterspell, because they're instant speed. If our opponent just has Plains, then we're still playing around Counterspells, and it just doesn't get better than that. Alright, Boros Charm. Not Boros Charm. Ouch. Well, we'll take our lumps. Deflecting Palm. Wait. F3. I'm gonna play Mountain so we don't get wrecked by Mana Leak. But if our opponent attacks, yeah, we get to Deflecting Palm the Angel token. So opponent's thinking if they snap Bolt on our end step, then that would be 11 damage. But it looks like they didn't have that. They had a Resto Angel. Still, deflecting palm on angel tokens lethal here. Let's see if it resolves. Let it happen. Any counter spell they can counter the palm. Any removal spell they can kill the angel token and not have the palm do damage. But if this works, it's pretty incredible. Like if they have a hand of snapcasters and lands, then this is going to work. But if we choose the angel, and then they have Path to Exile, they can just path their angel and it's no longer lethal. Which looks like that's what they're doing. Yeah, they're snap pathing their own angel. Okay. So Boros Charm off the top is still lethal. Alright. Let's do it. Rift Bolt. Hiya! Alright. Yeah, that's the problem with playing 2 leagues back to back. You end up fighting against the people that you just saw. So yeah, the Mono Lightning Helix player. I think that's a close matchup, but our opponent was obviously making some pretty heads-up plays. Yeah, and he's not a scrub, which is pretty. That's a pretty big deal as well. All right. This is so weird. Why don't I have to load the chat to make the window actually work? Travinsky. We don't know anything about Travinsky. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep this hand. I'm not excited by it because there's no creatures, but we can go 1-drop burn spell into 2-drop burn spell into 2-drop and 1-drop burn spell, so this is what, 13 damage to the face. We just need to draw 7 more points of damage. You're gonna guess fish? Alright. Bold guess. Alright, let's lead on the Rift Bolt. So if we draw a Swift Spear, I want to cast it and then trigger it immediately. Close? Question mark? Alright. I've also heard that playing against this kind of matchup is super interesting as well, because you can play it kind of like a control deck. As evidenced by me about to Searing Blaze their stupid bird. And I'm going to do it with this mountain that I just drew. Because then we don't have to shock with the Stomping Ground, and we don't have to fetch it in case we draw another Searing Blaze. But Searing Blazing a Birds of Paradise in the play feels good, man. Shock yourself. Do it. Do it. Just shock yourself. Do you have another bird? Is that what's happening here? Alright, I'm gonna play this tapped and pass. Our opponent, if our opponent plays like Kitchen Finks, we're gonna really want their Skullcrack up. Knight of the Reliquary. Alright, in that case, we're just gonna Boros Charm them. There's no land they could fetch for that would get a bunch of life, right? Alright, I'm gonna attack with this Goblin Guard. We could, like, bolt the Knight, But I don't think they're going to block. If we trade our 1 mana for their 3 mana, that's pretty good anyway. Alright, well they had a plains on top. So let's see what happens. If they're playing Collected Company, then we want to wait until... that's a little awkward, but we can wait until the company goes on the stack. Or until even after the company resolves. Yeah, I'm going to wait until after the company resolves. Because if they could get creatures that are vulnerable. Okay, Duskwatch Critter and Devoted Druid. Alright, so now we pass. And if they play like a Vizier of Remedies, we have to bolt the Druid. Yeah, so we have to bolt the Druid now. I wanted to... I guess we could have held it anyway. I mean, we could have... No, I wanted to bolt there. This has to be my friend Travis. His name is Travis Oninsky. That's why I guess fish. Travinsky. Travis Oninsky. Otherwise, confidence level 100. That's pretty funny. So, Eternal Witness, get back Devoted Druid. Yeah. Alright. Your friend Travis doesn't also play Devoted Druid Vizier of Remedies combo? Alright. Any damage, and we win. Any single sliver of life point affecting damage. Which means, actually, because 1 point is lethal, we can actually fetch with this Wooded Foothills, because Searing Blaze is still lethal. So I'm going to fetch to see that we don't draw this Sacred Foundry. Searing Blaze still does it. Nope. They have the win on the table. They have, apparently Travis has infinite mana, and they can draw every creature in the deck with Duskwatch Recruiter. So they can just blister us out from this point. So we were a point short. That's a shame. Rest in Peace doesn't do anything against that combo. Deflecting Palm doesn't do anything against if the win con is Walking Ballista. Path. I'd rather avoid Path if I can. I guess if they're playing Kitchen Finks as a sideboard plan against Burn, then Path is alright. Yeah, I could see hedging and taking out 2 Boros Charms for 2 Paths. It helps break up the combo, and getting Kitchen Finks out of the way is pretty important. So, I'm going to try this. You should message him and see if he's playing. See if he's playing against a guy called PJMizzle. Yeah, I'll play first. Why not? This is another iffy hand where we don't have any creatures. But 5 spells 2 land. Like, can't really chuck that back. No! Oh, God. Oh my god. Ugh. There are a lot of hands when where like you can beat a Light Line of Sanctity. This was not one of them. So apparently it is Travis on Inski. Alright, well that was him. Alright, well, fair enough. You'll have something to tell him next time you see him. That he totally browned this guy who was playing Burn. No, I don't care. I just hope he, like, yeah, whatever. I just hope he isn't weirded out that someone on the internet he's never met before knew his name. I know that might weird me out. But I was curious. I really wanted to know if that was the guy you were thinking of. Doo-doo. B055 sauce. Ooh, this hand actually looks like this has got some spiciness going on. I'm into it. Ah, okay, we're playing against the matchup. Alright, sweet. This is it. Alright. I've been... I joined a casual game and someone was like, is this Brian? And immediately got creeped out. Was my ex-GF's new boyfriend. That's an awesome story. Thanks for sharing. That's really funny. Yeah, I normally don't... I try not to do that kind of stuff because it is kind of weird. But in that particular case, I was just super interested. Is this Brian? Ooh, this looks like either Esper Control or Esper... Esper... Oh, I mean, it could still be Grixis Shadow. I mean, Esper Shadow. Alright, I want to conceal the fact that we drew this Stomping Ground. Otherwise, our opponent's going to have perfect information. So I'm going to fetch for a Sacred Foundry now and play Swift Spear and Bolt. Yeah, I've played against a lot of Esper Shadow locally. I know a couple of guys who were playing it. It's got to be worse, right? The white has to be better against Burn than the red is, just on a fundamental level. I mean, I haven't. You'd have to look at specific deck lists to know for sure. Ugh. What's this? Stubborn Denial? Yeah, that's fine. Alright. That was probably going to get us at some point during this match anyway. And then path our Swift Spear. Okay. We've still got a Swift Spear. We've still got a couple of burn spells. Losing K command is bad. Gaining Lingering Souls without jumping through hoops on the mana base is pretty big. Yeah, Lingering Souls is pretty nice. So is this Skullcrack. I don't need to play this Stomping Ground yet, because we're going to play a 1 and a 2 this turn. So I'm still going to hold the Stomping Ground for Searing Blaze. And we're going to have a big turn next turn if our opponent doesn't do anything. Really looks like our opponent's thinking about Path. Yeah, okay. In that case, I'm going to Lightning Helix now. This way, we know... Like, obviously our Swift Spear is going to die anyway. But this way we know the... this way we know the Lightning Helix resolves. So our opponents missed their 3rd land drop. The plan is to kind of choke their mana on our turn 4. Probably should have played the Thought Scour before the Death Shadow, but that's fine. Alright, time to draw any burn spell. Any burn spells? Yeah, sweet. Yeah, we're dead to Stubborn Denial regardless. So I'm just gonna go for it. It's pretty funny watching this Death Shadow get giant. Yes. Alright, got there. So I think that's the key against Death Shadow. Now, I don't have any experience, but that's what I've been told. You want to do a big flurry of damage on the final turn, so you don't beef up their Shadow. Now, if ever there were a matchup for Path to Exile and Deflecting Palm, this is definitely it. I definitely don't like Molten Rain on the draw. And against Espo, Core Firewalk was obviously bad. I think Rest in Peace is the wrong way to attack this matchup. So what can we do? My gut instinct is we're bringing in Palms. Let's take out the clunky spells. And we're on the draw, so we can take out a land. We're also taking out more 2s and bringing in 1s. Eidolon isn't... That's... Yeah, that's true. Eidolon is kind of weird. I could see having an Eidolon on the table for the Grixis Shadow, or in this case, Esper Shadow. I could see them actually using it to their benefit, so they can more carefully control their life total because there's an Eidolon present. So I could see that being correct as well. That's kind of interesting. Usually beat them by sandbagging burn spells after resolving a few ground pounders. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So the first 2 or 3 turns, you're just getting in for damage while you can. And then kind of wait for them to tap out for a Tasigur or a Grixis Shadow or I keep saying Grixis Shadow. But yeah, I like this. Getting rid of Eidolon seems good. Shaving a land on the draw against a control-ish deck sounds good. Especially if they're going to be like duressing and inquisitioning us. And yeah, we want the things that fight the big guys. So let's do it. Alright, so we've got 3 lands, 4 spells, but the spells are kind of bad. Really, I just want to make sure that I'm not keeping mediocre hands. Our opponent mulligans, and this hand seems fine, but not super exciting. But it's hard to imagine on average, if we mull to 6, we'd get a better hand. So I think I'm going to keep it, but it's not exciting. See, this is exactly when we get Leyline of Sanctity again. Ugh. Horrible experience. Well, obviously land isn't what we wanted to draw. And we don't have any green spells. We don't need Stomping Ground. We've already greened that. A split of Eidolon and Blaze. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, a lot of main deck Blazes, I guess, isn't necessarily standard, but yeah. I don't know, I still like Blaze, it's pretty powerful. And if Wait. I was gonna say, if they play like a 1/1 Death Shadow, Searing Blazing the 1/1 Death Shadow is not gonna get you what you want. It's gonna be a 4/4 Death Shadow with 3 damage on it. Alright, Bolt you. Lightning Helix. Alright, now I think we just shock with Sacred Foundry and pass. And here, I think I'm going to wait until my opponent's end step. So I'm going to Lightning Helix in your opponent's end step. If they don't play a Shadow. Things get a little more awkward if they do. But if they don't, then I'm going to Helix and that'll open the way for land, Boros Charm, Bolt. Or something to that effect. So if they go like fetch, shock, down to 12, and play a Death Shadow, then we're playing a much more interesting game. Let's see. I've seen a lot of Mardu burn recently. Losing the green feels loose, but the cutesy claim... Claim to Fame plus... Oh, Claim to Fame plus Vexing Devil. That's kind of sweet. Alright, here comes Tasiga. Alright, so let's just blast them with everything we got. We're going to Boros Charm, untap, land, Searing Blaze, Bolt. And because we know we're Searing Blazinging, I'm going to save the fetch land for the second Searing Blaze, which is good because we actually drew it. And just blast away now. We don't need to kill the Tasiga. We want to threaten lethal. Like, this is currently a 5-turn clock. We don't really need to kill the Tasiga. I just did that for damage. So now the plan is... Ooh, what is this? White-black, Tide Hollow Sculler? 1 mana Boros Charm, basically. Feel the spice. Yeah, I like... Look, I'm not a fan of Vexing Devil in... Collective Brutality. So good in this matchup. I'm not a big fan of Vexing Devil in general, but Claim to Fame sounds kind of sweet. Especially seeing as you can get back, Goblin Guards and stuff that died anyway. So if we draw any Bolt, we win. Any Bolt, we win. Any Bolt, we win. Ugh. We're dead. Kicked Collective Brutality into Death's Shadow. They have lethal, and we don't have the second Bolt we need to win. Yuck. Wow. That was super close. Look, I tried to rip the burn spell. Just didn't work out for me this time. Alright. Do we change anything on the play? Molten Rain becomes slightly more interesting. Maybe we do want to get these Searing Blazes out of here. Super. Yeah, oh look. I've cast a lot of Collective Brutalities in my day. They are sweet. I think if we're on the play, Molten Rain gets better. So one package I'm considering is land the Molten Rain and like 1 Eidolon. So that could be something that we have. Something else might just be more Eidolons. And once we're doing that, it could just be 4 Eidolons and we still just have 19 lands. Because if we're playing against Inquisitions and Collective Brutalities and stuff, we want as many spells as we can. Because we don't want to get flooded. So, yeah, I think I like 4 Eidolons better than like trying to steal a win with Molten Rain. And the reason I put the Stomping Ground in there as well is because if we have Molten Rain in our deck when we sit down to play, in a post-board game even, I want to have all 20 lands. So yeah, let's see if Eidolon can do some good work for us. Of course, on the draw, they can still just kick Collective Brutality our Eidolon, And, you know, if we play Idle on turn 2, they can play Collective Brutality on their turn 2, and, yeah, that's pretty good as well. This hand just seems fine. Like, this is a classic burn hand that we want. We've got a turn 1 creature and then plenty of burn to back it up, so not much to say there. Opponent revealed Thought Scour, so they're going to Serum Visions first. Follow up with the Thought Scour, maybe. And what did they do with it? Top, bottom. Okay, so they're drawing something good next turn. Alright, now I think we want to fetch for a white source. We'll suspend Rift Bolt, cast a Lava Spike, leaving the instant speed burn in our hands, and just keep getting for damage. Okay, they left Swamp on top. That makes sense. So now they've got Thought Scour, and this will be Collective Brutality. Don't do it, you monster! I wonder if Collective Brutality is just so good against you, you have to hold up Skullcrack for it. Wow, did they double? What? Oh yeah, they're doing everything. They're killing Goblin Guide, they're taking a bolt, and they're gaining 2 life. Jesus. Are you just always supposed to play around Collective Brutality because it's just so amazing against you? I guess they'd be on 13 instead of 15. It's still going to be extremely good. Because the life gain isn't the best part about it, it's the tempo. It's saying, here's a discard spell, but it's also going to kill a resolved creature and gain life. And you get all 3 effects for 2 mana total. So I don't think stopping the life gain alone is stopping the power of Collective Brutality, but maybe just because it's so good, you just have to do it anyway. Alright, well, we've cut all the Searing Blazes. So I think we just make sure our spells resolve, I think. And we need to peel 2 burn spells and not have them get interacted with in any way. I mean, maybe we could have waited and baited out an Inquisition. Yeah. I don't play around it because you just get wrecked. Whoa. Oh, Disenchant? You have to play land in case of more discard? Yeah. Sounds good. Alright, if our opponent's tapping out for a Tasigur and Angler or something, I'd rather a Tasigur because then it's a 4-turn clock instead of a 3-turn clock. Yeah. Okay, Tasigur's better than Angler, for sure. We just need 2 burn spells. Alright. Idle on something. We win this race, though, because we kill in 3 hits, they kill in 4. So they're going to have to play something into the Eidolon. And when they do, we've got Boros Charm to finish them off. Interesting, okay. Let's see if we can navigate this game to a win. So, if they have a counterspell, it's going to be like a Stubborn Denial, right? It's not going to be Mana Leak or Negate or something. So, if we Boros Charm now, if they have Stubborn, it puts them at 2. That's a good point. Actually, that's an excellent point. We should do it now, because if they have Stubborn Denial, they take an extra 2 from the Eidolon. That's an awesome point, Hivemine. I totally forgot about that. You don't really have a choice, do you? No, I was just thinking it through. If they have Stubborn Denial or Spell Pierce, which it looks like they do, then they're going to get us regardless. And if their out is like Snapcaster back Stubborn Denial, then it's much better we do it now. If their out is Mana Leak or Negate or something to that effect, then it's much better we do it now. It's just always better that we do it now. Alright. I guess technically we wait until they're upkeep. In case they, like, do something crazy on our end step. Like, activate Tasiga. But there's no way they're tapping out because they've got that anyway. Yeah, alright. No, I don't think they run Leak or Negate anyway. I was just running through ways that they could possibly... Like, what would affect the choice one way or another. Now, we're out of the money because we're 0-3, which isn't great. But the real reason I'm doing this is to learn Modern Burn. I've been playing a lot of Storm recently, for those of you who weren't with us at the start, and kind of getting wrecked by Grixis Shadow in the local meta at the PBTQ level. So I'm kind of interested in picking up a new deck. A friend had this lying around. I thought I'd give it a shot. So I'm just trying to see if Burn's really for me. So we're out of the money for this league, but I'm here for the experience. So let's play our last 2 rounds. Countersquall? Yeah, that's a lot more likely of a 2-mana counterspell they could have. Oh wow, you have to get on a plane now? Catch you around Falafel Waffle. If you want to catch me again, just throw us a follow and you'll get a notification. I'm also on Twitter. So if you follow me on Twitter, same name, PJMizzle, you'll get a notification there as well. But the thing with Burn is that it doesn't allow mistakes. That's why I really want to practice a lot, because I don't want to be the kind of guy who's like, oh, I'll just show up on the weekend, pick up Burn, and expect to do well. I want to get in the reps now. And there are a lot of teeny mistakes that you can make, like sequencing, Swift Spear. So a big one that I've learnt, or at least started thinking about in a different way, is when do you fire off main phase or at least pre-combat damage burn spells to get in triggers with Swift Spear, as opposed to, say, holding up your mana for something like a Lightning Helix, which is a lot more versatile. Maybe you could kill a creature, maybe you could bait a counterspell on their end step, that kind of thing. So knowing how to value those prowess triggers is something that I really want to learn as well. Yeah. We've definitely had games where I've lost because the opponent's on 1 life. And I don't know if there's anything I could do about it. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But, yeah, I just need to keep on top of it. Keep thinking things through. Thinking about what outs we could have, what outs they could have, that kind of thing. Man, no one else in the 0-3 bracket wants to play? That's a shame. Yeah, the Searing Blazes have actually been not fantastic. If I'm playing this deck to try and beat a Shadow deck, then the Searing Blazes aren't actually very good. Because it doesn't kill any of their creatures except Snapcaster Mage. And it's a 2 mana for unreliable 3 damage to the face. I wonder if there's some other setup. You'll get paired up and get to ruin someone's day. Yeah, I hope so. I wonder if there's another setup where maybe we play 3 Searing Blazes. And what would you play, like a Grim Lavamancer instead of a Searing Blaze? That could be an interesting change. I don't think any of these sideboard cards you could consider playing in the main. I think these will all be a mistake to play in the main. And we're already playing all 4 ofs. So if I wanted to say, cut 1, play Lavamancer, gets a lot of mileage. I think Lavamancer is the kind of card you want to play a 1 of as well. It's not the kind of card you want to load up on and get 2 stuck in a hand. Alright, we're playing against TCG Shin. And we have a thoroughly average hand. More creatures than we've been getting though, actually, which is nice. Let's see. Oh, it's the mirror again? No! Scred Red. Scred Red. Alright, Goblin Guard, get in there. Wait, how could this be Scred Red? They're playing Mountain. Not Snow-Covered Mountain. Ooh, Scape Shift, that's what it is. It's an odd turn 1 play for Scape Shift, but... I mean, Goblin Guide shows us the truth. What's the Scape Shift matchup like? We don't seem to have a lot of ways that directly interact with the combo. Okay, so they drew a Wooded Foothills. And they have Bolt for Goblin Guide. I think I like attacking before playing Eidolon there. If we play Eidolon pre-combat, they're just going to bolt the Eidolon more likely. Yeah, whatever. I don't care about Goblin Guard in my graveyard. So those are the kind of micro decisions that I think I have a good answer to, like playing the Eidolon post-combat, but I'm willing to be proven wrong. Like maybe if we play the Eidolon pre-combat, they bolt Goblin Guard right away and then they don't get to draw their Wooded Foothills. Alright. So here we attack with the Eidolon, even though they have the Sakura Tribe Elder blocker. Draw the Bolt out to protect it seems better. That was my gut reaction. But like I said, I'm willing to be proven wrong. Or at least argued against. The real question is, which of our fetch lands are we going to play? Original Zendikar one, right? Surely. Although it is the Modern Masters reprint. Ugh. I love you, Scoolington. It's going to be you. Alright, Cycle Relic. Seems fine. Another Sakura Tribe Elder? Farseek. Yeah, Eidolon seems good if they're playing a bunch of these dorky ramp spells. Alright. If we fetch for Mountain and play Lightning Helix, then we go up to 20, and then next turn, even if we crack a fetch land, we're on 19. So because the burn spell in our hand is Lightning Helix, we can actually stay out of a next turn, like, land into Scape Shifts, which is pretty nice. Actually, what am I talking about? There's an Eidolon on the table. We definitely can't do that. Alright, never mind me. We're just going to draw all the lands. And in case casting 2 spells or casting a spell and fetching with the Wooded Foothills is part of opponent's plan, just fire off the Lava Spike. Because we went below the 18 life threshold, it's not like that's going to change anything. So I think we're just super dead to the Scape Shift here. Actually, I was in a position where this was exactly the situation. Opponent was on 3 life, had Scape Shift, went and got lethal combo with the Valakuts in the mountains, deflecting Palm, take 3 for the first Valakut trigger, you're dead, not me. God, that was a good feeling. So, opponent's going to play like a whole bunch of Obstinate Baloths and stuff. What is this, like 6 triggers? Yeah, we did. Yeah, if opponent's plan is like Obstinate Baloth, then Deflecting Palm seems good. I don't know about the Path to Exiles. Core Firewalker seems less than desirable. Like, not good enough to make the main deck, even though it might do something. Let's see. So we definitely want the Skullcracks. Eidolon seem great, especially on the play. I guess Searing Blaze is kind of weak. Something I like about Searing Blaze is that you can pre-combat play a land and play it targeting a player and their Sakura Tribe Elder. And I mean, they're going to sack their Sakura Tribe Elder in response, because obviously they want to get the land. But they still take the 3 from the Blaze, and it still opens up the way for your creatures. So I think Searing Blaze actually can be decent in this matchup. I could see shaving 1 or 2, though. So we want all these. Helix is good. Rift Bolt's good. I like the Palm. Maybe Path to Exile is okay against Primeval Titan. And I guess Molten Rain on the play is pretty good as well. So the question is, do we want Boros Charm or Path to Exile? If these are our options, which I think they are. On the play, I think I like Boros Charm more. I might bring in Path to Exile on the draw, when our opponent's going to be faster. We've got more cards to play with, and we might need to be a little more defensive. This hand seems sweet. I'm going to keep it. Double Eidolon. Let's do it. I'm going to use this fetch land to go and get a Sacred Foundry. And then the other fetch land can be used for the Searing Blaze. Oh, and our opponent even lined up the Search for Tomorrow for us. That'll come off Suspend right when the second Eidolons hit the table. Oh, man. I just got to keep the double Eidolon hands. Wish I had the Lava Spike on turn 1, but still. Wow. Our opponent just F6'd through their turn. That was probably silly of them. Yeah, they just F6'd through our turn. That was very silly of them. I think this game is more than locked up at this point. And the weird thing is with Magic Online, like if we were in real life, you could find some ways to like have a friendly fix. But I mean, if I just said, look, I'm not going to attack you for a turn and I'm not going to play a land or whatever else, they still have a Search for Tomorrow that was ticking down, even if they F6 through their turn. So yeah, it's a harsh reality, but you know, can't really fix it online. I think our opponent's just going to get ranched. So it sucks, but I think we were winning this game anyway. Alright. Helix you... Hang on. Yeah, Helix you is fine. But I'm going to pass. If our opponent has Obstinate Baloth. That's Wood Elves. Alright, that's going to resolve in response to the trigger. Let's go and get Mountain and Searing Blaze, these two. Wood Elves makes me definitely want to keep in Searing Blaze, by the way. Yeah, it was unfortunate for the opponent, but our draw seemed pretty good there anyway. Alright, on the draw. On the draw. I don't know if I like Molten Rain as much. In fact, I don't know if we want it at all. I think a better way to protect ourselves from a Valakut kill is with Path to Exile. Let's see. Goblin Guard, Lava Spike, Bolt, Swift Spear, Skullcrack. Eidolon's worse on the draw, but I still think it's good. I still like a couple of Searing Blaze. Deflecting Palm still seems great against, like, Primeval Titan and Obstinate Baloth. 2 Boros Charm. All the Eidolons, 2 Paths to Exile. Blaze isn't worth it. The reason I like Blaze is because it's good at getting Sakura Tribe Elder out the way. So something... I said this a second ago, but you can pre-combat play a land and Searing Blaze the Sakura Tribe Elder. They'll still take 3, and it means they don't get to block your creatures. So because they play Sakura Tribe Elder, a Wood Elf, they might have Obstinate Baloth, they probably have Primeval Titan. I think 2 is fine. I definitely want to trim down on them. I wouldn't play all 4. Maybe even just 1. Maybe you know, it comes up so irregularly that 1 is fine, but I actually think it can be pretty good value. If you kill a Sakura Tribe Elder it means they don't get to block. Oh my god, it's in our hand anyway. That's amazing. Alright, I think I've finally I think I've finally found a hand that's too mediocre. This hand is all 2-drops, which means we don't play anything on turn 1, that mana's wasted. Turn 2, we might have a fine play. Turn 3, we're playing a 2-mana spell and that mana's wasted as well. So, on the draw, I think this one's a pretty clear mulligan. And, yeah, this hand's way better. And we even get to keep a land. Yep. Alright. Guided up. Guided missiles. Alright, this is a pretty cool hand. We get to spew out all our 1-drops and then land some Eidolons. Whoa, Sheffet Monitor. That's awesome. Sheffet Monitor. See, we could have had the Searing Blaze. Could have had the Searing Blaze value. Here I'm going to play Goblin Guard and attack with both. I don't think it will change their plays. They're still going to block and... Whoa, they got 2 lands off the Goblin Guards. That's unfortunate. It's not going to change their play, but I think technically it's correct to wait until second main phase to play out this Rift Bolt Suspend. And there's no way we're surviving above 18 life, so it's much of a muchness. Anger of the Gods would be pretty good for our opponent. I mean, Obstinate Bailiff is probably the best they could hope for. If they had Obstinate Bailiff, we could consider pointing the Rift Bolt at the Bailiff. If we did that, then we could attack with both Goblin Guards. The Goblin Guards would guarantee to get in for damage, and that's 4. So if we just Rift Bolt face and assume no attacks this turn, then they get down to 14, and it's still 2 creatures v1. If we Rift Bolt the Bailiff and attack with both, either they take 4 instead of 3, or we trade off for the Bailiff and they take 2 instead of 3. So I think it's quite a bit better, actually, to Rift Bolt the Bailiff. What do they play? They played the Foothills. They've still got Cinderglade in hand. Search for Tomorrow on top. Let's see if they block. Yep. Yeah, so we got in for 1 less point of damage this turn, but we still have a Goblin Guard that's alive. Seems great. We still don't have any non-red spells in hand, so Fetching Mountain seems fine. It sucks that it's going to get to turn 4 or 5 and we still haven't played this other Eidolon. I guess turn 4. That we'll be playing a second Eidolon. So it's less likely to be relevant then. Sheffet Mon is a pretty sweet way to search out without triggering Eidolon. I wonder if they should have gotten Forest for search? No, I guess not. Right? Farseek? Okay. So we've got 4 damage on the table, plus the Rift Bolt puts them down to a virtual 6. So there's no way we can burn them out this turn. If our opponent literally has Scapeshift sitting in their hand, I think they win. Otherwise, we might be in reasonable shape. Ooh. But yeah, if they just play Scapeshift, I think they got it. Top card was Mountain. They've drawn 3 lands off our Goblin Guards collectively. This looks like Scapeshift. Ooh. Prime time. Are we dead? We're not dead. We're definitely not dead. But we do need to path the prime time now. Because if they go and get Valakuts, and then they just play a mountain from their hand, because they haven't played land for turn yet, We need to do this in response to the trigger. Or we get owned. We go down to 6. But, oh no, because they can get a mountain from the path trigger. And then they can go and get Valakut Mountain. Alright, so we were dead either way. Alright, fair enough. Yeah, turn 5, kill from opponent after playing an Obstinate Baloth. Ooh, mismatched Valakuts though. That's a big no-no. Alright. Last match. This'll be it. Playing for some semblance of dignity. We went 3-2 in the first league, and now we're 0-4 in the second league. Certainly less than impressive. So yeah, what if we? I kind of like Lavamancer. I mean, Lavamancer's a sweet card. Ooh, Lavamancer's skill. Tap. Yeah, and if it's a wizard, it's got 2 damage. Lavamancer's skill. That's kind of sweet. Tormentor, right? That's... I mean, have some respect for the OG. I think you still want the 4th Searing Blaze somewhere in the 75, just because in certain matchups it is pretty much the best card you could have. So where do you find space for it? Could be the Molten Rains. I think you want all the Destructive Revelries. I think you want double Firewalker. Because there's... I mean, it's a... The path was a mistake? I don't think so. I think we were just dead there anyway. They can... Because they had Mountain in hand, they already had a Valakut on the table. They could just play... If they search for double Valakut and then just play a Mountain, we were taking 9 damage that turn regardless. Yeah, this hand seems fine. Eidolon's worse on the draw, but ship it. Oh, this looks like Storm. This is Storm. We get to play Eidolon against Storm. We were on 10 life with 3 creatures. Hang on, let me have a look. We should be able to look up the game history. And I'll do this first. You can only block 1. Let's have a look. Whoops. Lava Spike, this one. Alright. Cheaper in life to Path the Titan. Let's see. Serum Visions, Sleight of Hand. Yeah, Eidolon's going to be pretty good here. I've played a lot of Storm against Eidolon. Waiting to see what happens was allowing the opponent to lose. Yeah, that's certainly true. They could have made a mistake. So this is a replay of that game. This was the Baloth. We Rift Bolt the Baloth, attack with the Goblin Guards. So it's still at least a turn away. Oh, they're peeking in response. That's pretty funny. Hey. Let's see. So this was the Sheffet Monitor. They Farseek, so they go down to 13. This is on their turn. So then we untap, we draw a path, we Rift Bolt them, we play Eidolon off the Stomping Ground the Mountain, we hold up Path to Exile. Opponent's still thinking in the current game. So this is what the board was. They play the Primeval Titan. If they go and get... if they go and get 2 Valakuts, then play a mountain from their hand, they can bolt us down to 1. Then we're locked out of spells. We're locked out of spells, and we can only attack them down to 2. Which means all they have to do is attack us back, and we can't actually do anything about it. Except, like, gang block and then try and do an instant speed burden spell. Something crazy like that. But when they attack, the trigger's going to kill us. So, yeah, they had a guaranteed 9 damage, which would have locked us out of spells, and we didn't have lethal on board. So, it seems like it was probably damned if you do, damned if you don't type situation. Alright, here, I'm going to play Swift Spear. Attack for 3. You could block with 2 Eidolons. I don't think we'd block anything. In this situation, if we let it go to another turn, they attack, the Primeval Titan triggers, and then we just die to the triggers. Like, we wouldn't get to blockers. We'd just be dead off the mountains that they fetch off the Primeval Titan. Whoa, this isn't Storm? Bedlam Reveler? Alright. It's kind of sweet. I'm going to let them discard... If they have something like a Spell Pierce, I don't want them to... I don't want them to have it in their pre-discarded hand. I want them to have it in their new hand. Holy crap. This deck looks sweet. What the hell just happened? They discarded a sweet hand full of tons of cantripping stuff and apparently drew garbage. Wow. Alright. Oh, I guess if we have Eidolon on the table, like Metamorphose and stuff, not doing it anyway. Alright, so it wasn't Storm, it was Storm. Kiln Fiend combo. Okay, sweet. So, Rest in Peace is pretty funny for turning off Bedlam Reveler. But that's probably not where we want to be. If they're all about killing in one giant turn, I could think of a certain 2-mana instant from Khans of Tarkir that we might want to play. And probably Path to Exile as well, right? So it's cut... God, I feel like I do this every time. I guess if they don't have any life gain effects because they're in blue-red, Skullcrack is probably the worst 4-mana thing to get rid of. Like, if they're literally blue-red, then they can't have Collective Brutality or Kitchen Finks or anything. So, I think cutting Skullcrack's probably safe. And Searing Blaze is a lot better at, like, threatening a Kiln Fiend, and Boros Charm doing 4 damage is relevant. So we cut 2-mana spells and a land, and we bring in Deflecting Palm and Path to Exile against the all-in a single creature combo deck. Seems fine. Alright. For the W. Alright, let's do it. This hand seems great. We can go turn 1 Swift Spear. And if they play like Kiln Fiend, then we can go Swift Spear Path. Yeah, Thing in the Ice, definitely. Again, I like fetching Mountain when I know I've got more fetch lands in hand. Because if we draw Inspiring Vantage, it's nice to have had painless lands the whole way along. So yeah, if they slam Kiln Fiend, we can Searing Blaze it. If they slam Thing in the Ice, it's a Path to Exile type situation. Seeing as they did neither, I think it's just a Swift Spear Lava Spike type situation. We're just goldfishing it up. No, I guess we're not attacking with all anymore. I suppose it still would have worked. Alright, what you got? Sleight of hand into a 2-mana creature? Nope. Sleight of hand into a sleight of hand. Into a sleight of hand? Alright. Well, we can't play either of our spells pre-combat for damage. But we can play a fetch land, play Eidolon, and hold up Path to Exile. Yeah, I feel like Eidolon's a pretty big problem if their plan is to, like, combo off on a single creature. But they're also almost certainly playing a whole bunch of bolts and such. Oh, wow, okay. They just didn't want the Eidolon at all. Alright, well... What an anticlimax, unfortunately. Yeah, this was the Scape Shift game. Yeah, I think there was no way out of this one. Technically, we could have survived if we didn't path, but we would have been painted into a corner. Yeah, I guess the last thing I want to do is try and figure this out. So I still like 20 lands, especially if we're bringing in a Lavamancer, because it needs a lot of lands. You're going to be activating it a bunch. And the cool thing about Lavamancer and when it works is when you're able to weave in activating it for 1 mana in between casting spells. So for instance, on turn 3, playing a 2-mana spell and then activating it. So you need lands for it to work. I want to stick with 20 lands. I like Eidolon, Guide, Swift Spear. Oh, that's right. We're cutting a Searing Blaze. So what we need to do is find space for Searing Blaze in the sideboard. Could be a Molten Rain. I think I like all the Revelries. I think I like the 2 Palms. We've done a lot of Path, like bringing in Path and Palm at the same time. Maybe it's like this. And you still have 5 things against creature to bring in, and they're kind of all varied. I might try this for next time. But for now, it's time for me to call it a night. Thank you all for joining me. If you want to throw us a follow on Twitch, that'd be great. You can see when I come online. I've also got a Twitter page that I post to when I go streaming, and working on a Facebook page and YouTube page and everything. So, yeah, follow me wherever, and hopefully I'll see you in chat again, because this was really fun. Lavamancer plinking off Dorks and Bobs is the most satisfying thing ever. I think... I'm trying to remember when it was. It might have been the Mox, like, Magic Online Championship Series. It was the Mox Finals 3 years ago, I want to say. There was an awesome match where BDM, like, his job in that event was to watch replays on a laptop and pick out awesome games. There was one match where, like, it was Pod versus some Lavamancer deck, or maybe it was Merfolk or something. And it was just, like, he just showed the replay in fast forward, and the Lavamancer player drew basically no spells, just the whole time, just bang, bang, bang. 2 damage there, 2 damage there, 2 damage there. I was, like, blanking every single top deck from his opponent. And the Lavamancer player was drawing nothing. But, you know, just had this active Lavamancer the entire time, and it just single-handedly brought him back into the game. So, yeah, when it survives, it's incredible. Yeah, I'm willing to give it a shot. It seems sweet. So thank you all for joining me. It's been really, really fun, and I hope to see you the next time. Catch you around.